in the Department of Information Science. So, without wasting much of our time, join me in welcoming Honorable Abiola as he presents his paper on I would like to start this session with a story. The story of a driver in this University of Ibadan. It's a real life story. I heard it directly from him. He said, when he gets into the system of University of Ibadan, as a driver, he decided to go for a computer training. He was turned into a laughing stock by his colleagues. A driver, why are you disturbing yourself? Why do you need to go and learn computer? You don't want to drive. Why do you need to learn computer? But despite this, he went ahead and learned about computer. Guess what? That computer paid off at the long run. At the time when the university decided to bring in automatic vehicles, they decided to check into the database and see drivers that are actually skilled with computer. So he was nominated as one of those that will be retrained on the use of automatic vehicle, and of course, they gave him a stipend. Now, what's the lesson from this story? There are two lessons I will give us here. One, it is better to have a skill that you don't need than to need a skill and you don't have it. As a driver, his colleague feels you don't need the computer skill. So definitely they decide not to go for it. But despite the fact that they told him he doesn't need a computer skill, he went ahead and acquired a skill. In that case, he has acquired a skill that they think probably he doesn't need. Now the university wants to bring in automatic vehicles. They need someone that is very good in computer or that knows about computer and is a driver. So they went ahead and picked it. So a skill that they probably think is not needed is now needed. So which means there is no skill, there is no lesson that is not useful. Okay? So every single day you might feel, how does this even relate to my studies? How does it relate to my profession? How does it relate to my career? You might not know, but the long run, especially in this technological age, a lot of things are already going into one area. As a matter of fact, I studied mathematics at my undergraduate level. I'm an automation technologist. I work with Arduino, specifically programmable logic controller. I was fortunate to be one of those that facilitates the Java Technical Lab, the University of Ibadan Automation Lab. There are about 10 IOT-based traffic control systems in Lagos. I was one of them that put it in place. 12 are still under construction right now. As a mathematics student, how do you relate to this? You are doing engineering stuff. Many people believe, okay, as a mathematician, the next thing you should do in your life is to go back to the school and pick chalk or marker. They use marker now, right? Okay, and teach mathematics. No, that's not the only thing. As a matter of fact, whether we like it or not, application of mathematics is what we do as engineering. Okay? And that's it. Now, I'm undergoing studies on information science. Information science, how does it relate to mathematics? How does it relate to automation engineering? Every aspect of life, whether we like it or not, is based on information. If you don't have information about something, then you are not going to be able to use that thing. You don't know about it. It's that simple. If there is a chaos in your job, anybody will not tell you that, okay, well, there is rubbish going on in your job, then you can go there and at the end of the day, you might lose a lot of things. But if you have the information, then definitely you are not going to know. You are not going to lose. Now the second lesson is this. Whether we like it or not, technology is what is taking over every phase. The earlier we embrace it, the better. The driver had no idea whether computer is useful or not, but he went for the computer training. Now at the end of the day, computer became useful for him. Okay, so that means they have technology have bring drivers from just a manual driver to an automatic driver. So every task you are doing today, whether you like it or not, at some point technology will come into play, and that is why I want you all to do what? To pay attention to everything, because I was here yesterday and I noticed the two lecturers, they made mention of technology very well, and they actually spoke extensively on the use of some of this technology. Today, like I said, I am Olawale Abiola. I'm an automation technologist, information scientist, and a content creator. And the major reason why I decided to start with that story is this. Sometimes in October, I was also privileged to be part of a training like this for local government officials like you. But on giving them all the necessary things, telling them how technology is useful, they were advised to include the technologies that will help them in their work, in their community. Then the next thing I hear is, no, okay? That's the next thing they thought of. They saw technology as a threat rather than an opportunity. Technology will never collect your job. You are the only one that will decide to leave your job. What technology will do for you is to make sure that your work becomes easier. Technology is of benefit to two people. One, those that build it. Two, those that will use it. If a typewriter decided that since computer is coming in as a technology, he or she will not take over, he will not consider computer because it will take over his or her job. Today, where is typewriter? So that means technology is something that we cannot fight. It is one thing that you can't beat. So the best thing you can do for it is to join it. So you are going to be having a lot of take home here that can be used in environmental duties. I would like you to include it in your communique so that the government can also help you in improving your work. Permit me, during this course, you are going to watch videos, because I will just be telling you how these things are applied. I want you to see it for yourself. Okay, let's proceed. Internet of Things. Our topic is application of Internet of Things in environmental duties. Now the question is, what is Internet of Things? According to Wikipedia, the Internet of Things describes the network of physical objects, so known as things, that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies that is used for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and items over the internet. IoT helps in controlling situations without being physically present. IoT helps in avoiding disasters remotely. So when you
please, with attention of that one, she twists outside, like a little bit. That one, she twists. It is by the permission. Sorry.
Okay, now when you hear Internet of Things, what comes to mind? Internet things. Basically, it's a way of controlling, making things work via the internet. Now let's try and break down the definition of Wikipedia. It said, Internet of Things describes the network of physical objects, so known as things, that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technology that is used for the purpose of connecting, exchanging data with other devices and systems over the internet. Now, what are the things that you pick out from that definition? Sensors, software, technologies. Each time you hear sensor, I don't want you to think of any other term than five sensing organs in human. Your eye, your nose, your tongue, and then your taste, then your skin. Now, sensor. Sensor, what does it do? It senses. Sensor can see. The same thing you can see. So, okay, this thing is white. Okay, By the time sensor sees that this thing is white, then it feels okay. What next? What should I do? Sensor is going to send a signal to either a device or a software. That software or a device the sensor is sending signal to can be seen as probably your brain that processes the information. Okay, this is white color. Okay, so when you see white color, you think, okay, probably they are going to judge. Okay, this is the top of our environmental officer's uniform. Okay, this has to do with this has to do with that and that. But in the case of sensor, when you put it in place, you want to tell it when you see a red bucket, switch on the light. So by the time the sensor senses anything red, it will switch on the light. When it doesn't see anything like that, the light will be on. That's when we are comparing sensors with your eye. Now your nose, you smell. You do what? You smell. Okay, this thing is smelling like biscuit. It's smelling like a rotten egg. That's why we have something like what we call a smoke detector. Smoke detector. They are sensing device that can be able to sense smoke. Okay, this smoke. Some can even sense gas. Something like methane gas. You know, rotten food, they produce some kind of gas, very toxic one. There are sensors that can, this is coming from a rotten food. Okay? So, the skin, you feel cold, you feel hot, you have temperature sensing devices. Now, the sensor, they serve as input the same way your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your skin will serve as input to your brain. Then they send the signal to a software or a device. Say, I've seen something like this. Then the device will be, if you see something like this, do this. Okay. But in the case of Internet of Things, when the sensor senses anything, it's directly send a message either to an human being or a machine like it. For example, if you put an intruder alarm system in your house, someone that you're not familiar with how to the sensor sensing that this person is not part of this family. Then the next thing is you open your phone and you see an email. There's an intruder in your house. Okay, you are not at home. But with the help of Internet of Things, it sends you an email that yes, you are not at home, but there's someone that is not familiar with the house that is inside our house. That's the beauty of Internet of Things. Okay? So, Internet of Things is a rapidly evolving technology designed to bring all devices to Internet facilities. Currently, we know we can connect to the Internet through our phone, through our computers, and also some smart TVs also connect to the Internet directly. Okay? But we still have machines that cannot on their own connect to the Internet. So we need to bring in a device, a system that will help you to be able to know, okay, what's happening with this particular machine, what's happening with this particular environment. Internet of Things is very good at letting us know that. To let you know the weather condition of an area. Is it suitable for me to go there, or I should hold on? There is, are we familiar with, I believe we are familiar with Google Map. Especially anybody that has the opportunity of going to Lagos. One thing that the Google Map is good at doing for you is, it will tell you the traffic in an area that you are going to. So if you put on your Google Map, it will let you know, okay, these are the routes that you can go. These are the routes that you can go. If you take this route, it's faster, or there is traffic. It will let you know. That's one of the beauty of Internet. Okay? So, applications of IOT, Internet of Things. It is applicable in smart homes, medical and health, smart cities, energy management, and of course, environment monitoring. Now let's look at smartphones. Well, today, sincerely, one of the area that Internet of Things is actively applied is smartphones. A situation where you are going to be in your office and you can decide to turn on your pumping machine right from your office. And you will also be able to monitor the level of your tank. Is it filled or not? Then when you see that it is filled, you can put off that pumping machine also from your office. Okay? So basically, if you can connect all the devices in your home to the internet, you can control them remotely. So from anywhere in the world, I can tell you specifically, I'm here in Ibadan. If I want to shut down the traffic light in Allen Avenue, I will shut it down via the internet. Okay, so that's the beauty of the internet. Because I'm not, that's not the purpose it is for now. So definitely it doesn't make sense if I shut it down. So also in the health sector, Internet of Things is widely used. We have virtual monitoring robots. We are going to see them. We have robots that can be performing operation on patients while the doctor is somewhere at home or somewhere else. So IoT devices can be used to remotely perform effective health monitoring and emergency notification functions. Now, let me show you one virtual monitoring system. It is mostly, virtual monitoring system is mostly used in hospital now. Okay? But you will see it, then we now discuss how can we use that system as an environmental officer. From that video, and I asked the question, can this system be used for environmental building? virtual presence in multiple hospitals. I believe there are deputy directors here. And one day there will be one director. Then one of the duties of the director is to monitor the activities of people under him. So definitely there are a lot of people under him, there are a lot of sectors that will be under the director. Now, how does the director monitor the activities? Definitely the director can be using phone call. To be calling, okay, Mr. Bade, what's going on there? Mr. Kabir, what's going on there? Mrs. Ahodasha, what's going on there? Okay? And he can also decide to make use of a video call. Okay, let's talk. What's going on inside? Show me what's happening with the woman. All those things. Via video call. But there is something that the video call and the phone call will not be able to do. One is this. Mr. Bani will have to hang up to call someone else to know what's going on in their own side. But when you have the virtual monitoring system, Mr. Bani will know what Mr. Adedi director will know what's going on with Mr. Bani's side, what's going on with Mrs. Aroza's side, and what's going on with Mr. Kabir's side. Virtual system, via the system. Yes, there is no way. That's one. Then another beauty of the virtual monitoring system is the fact that it can move around. So if Mr. Kabir is hiding something from the director can change the direction of the virtual monitoring system as it is, so that it can be able to view the site very well. Mr. Kabir, where are you on your site? Have you cleared everything? Yes, show me. Because probably a specific portion of the place, snap it and send it to the director. And that will be okay. But with the virtual monitoring system, the director can decide to go and see that Mr. Kabir, ilẹ̀ ló ṣì wà lójú títì yẹn náà. Kí ló dé tẹ̀ ṣe báyìí? Something like that. So that's the beauty of the virtual monitoring system. Okay? Live movement control over the internet, that's what I just said. You can twist the robot, the system by itself, so that I can see what was actually going on inside. Okay? Live video consultation, remote consultation for patients. Now, you know our patients, we deal with probably market women, some other people. Probably the market woman puts forward and you feel the way that someone of higher hierarchy is to communicate with the market woman. You can actually, well, phone call is good, video call is good. But one thing is this. Let me ask this question. If I send you a text message that I need money, and I call you that I need money, which one would you believe most? Well, if I call you and I do a video, and I do a phone call, or I do a video call, which one will you believe most? So that's how when you speak with people physically, or they can interact with you very well, then definitely they are good to you. Okay? So that's one thing that you can use the virtual monitoring system. Remote hospital staff coordination, live coordination with nurses or doctors. In case the director has to go for a training outside the country, but still have to know what's going on, probably in the office premises. Then you can make use of the virtual monitoring system to coordinate staff, to delegate duties to anybody that he then fits pass message. So that is it. That's how virtual monitoring system is used in the Excel, and we have related it to what? The environmental duties. Now, smart cities. Smart cities. We talk about smart home. That's your house or your office. But what of the city where you live in? IOT have the potential to transform the whole city by solving the real problems faced by people on a daily basis. With the right connection and data, The Internet of Things can solve traffic problems, reduce noise, crime, and what? And population. Now, if you want to leave your office to go outside to do some check-ins, traffic is one major factor that can delay you. Am I right? So, how about you go on Google, check your Google map, and see, is there traffic? Okay, if there is traffic, where should I pass to enable me get to where I want to get to? Or should I just stay away from the job if the traffic is strong? So instead of you going into the traffic and spend 3-4 hours there without achieving what you want to achieve, then it will be better you want to stay back. So with the use of the internet of things, then we can be able to do that. Secondly, you know, I made mention of the traffic control system. Traffic lights is meant to reduce traffic, to control traffic. Okay? But in some cases, you can be going for an emergency work, whereby you have to override the activity of the traffic control system at that time. It can be an emergency monitoring, it can be you transporting an injured official down to the hospital. Okay? In that case, you can do that via IOT if you are authorized anyways. Like I said earlier, I said I can shut down the traffic light of alert right from here. So if I want to pass through a route there, probably I will be here or maybe I can decide, okay, since we are in emergency, I need our road to be open so that we can rescue the person. So then I go to my phone, press a simple button, telling the whole system to put other lanes on red, but allow those coming from along the lane to move. Okay. So, smart cities. What makes a city smart? Less stress, less traffic, the environmental condition is okay, no pollution, nothing like this. Internet of Things is so good that they can tell you this problem is about to happen. Then you go all in to see what you can do to avert the problem. Okay? And this will be based on internet, mails, text messages, and there is problem. That sky and other, they are using routine material to produce food for you. There is a smart system in place that will measure, that will be able to sense this thing is not clean up, it's routine already, to sense it that outside. This place, this restaurant, they are about to use a particular ingredient that is spoiled already to produce food for you. Then when you have that system, you can go straight down there to stop them from going that. Okay? That. So IoT energy management. So day by day we are improving in energy. You know, we have what we call the solar system now in place. So which is much more eco-friendly, environment-friendly than our generator that gives out smoke. Okay? Now, the power system of the future will not only be very smart, but also be reliable. Now, imagine a situation whereby you leave your house, you forgot to switch off the light, or I think refrigerator is the most feared house equipment that we have. Okay? When you have a situation like that, the next thing you do is forget it and you thinking, praying to God that something bad should not happen. Or if you are not that strong enough, you go back home and you assume to God. Instead of praying unto God to allow miracle to happen, whereby you are still afraid of what will happen, or going to the stress of going back home. How about you can do that by your phone? That's what it is. So you forgot to switch off the light, you forgot to put up your result. Right from your phone, you put it up. That's it. Now, IoT, environmental monitoring and protection. Environmental conditions can be improved through IoT. The possibility of natural disasters and extreme weather can be discovered earlier. You know, even this is sometimes depends on your settings to tell you the weather conditions for today. The likelihood of rainfall. That's basically it has been able to make the kind of connection probably with the satellite to know what condition is the weather today. So that you can be prepared, okay, the weather seems cloudy, then there's possibility that there will be rain. Let me put my umbrella. Okay. Now, waste management system can be what? Can be better. Waste management system can be better. I'm going to show you a video of a waste management system that can help very well. Now, food quality can also be what? Can be improved and what? And monitored. The cleanliness of the environment where they are producing the food, the quality of the ingredients they are using to produce. If you put an IoT system in place, you will know which restaurant is not performing well in terms of quality of food. Are the ingredients they are using, are they good enough or they are rotten? Okay, so not only is it good for the person, the owner of the restaurant, so that you will know, okay, this particular ingredient is bad, you should not use it. It will also enable the environmental research to check that these people are actually using quality ingredients to produce the food they are giving to the public. So let's see this video. This video is a video on garbage monitoring system. Garbage monitoring system. It is so smart that it will not allow people to litter with garbage. For example, in the market where they have a particular area assigned to them to be dumping refuse. When it is full, they don't want garbage. So this is it in place. Let's see how people use it. You see that symbol that popped up showing about 4 recycle bins. That's exactly the kind of platform, the interface you are going to be seeing on your system or on your phone. So I will show you that this particular document is at this level, it's almost full or it is full. So if it is full and someone is trying to still add on it, you know, the result will be that the refuse will drop on the ground. So what will you do? To snap the picture. You'll be able to trace that person. You see paper, glass, plastic, melter. What it means is that you should not put what is meant to be inside paper. What is meant to be, if paper is meant to be inside a container, you should not put plastic. Neither should you put the outer. said, please put the trash in the right container. The level of the pain is being updated time to time. That's how you're going to get in alert on your phone or on the system. You are using system to there is a red and green button. When the buckets are not filled, the green button is on, showing that you can still plump levels in it. But the moment those things are full, it turns red. So, as a matter of fact, when you get there as a person, you should know that you should not dump anything in there. If, because we are in the area, of course, the person decides to behave like the village people want him to do and dump that refuse on the fuel container, there is a camera there that will snap the picture of that. So the environmental officer is coming down there to pack the refuse. The next thing you do is take out the person that went out of the law and charge the person, maybe to court or do something necessary. Okay? So those are beautiful. This is another video. I will not spend more time with it. What this video does is this. You can see there is banana there. What it wants to check is the banana still fit for consumption. Is it good or it is wrong? So this system will help the restaurant to change that food. This thing I want to use to provide food. Then if we have a very, of course, this thing I'm saying now is not something very small. It's a big task for the environmental administration to monitor every restaurant, maybe in the local government or even in the university. So that means we are going to have a kind of system with a standard that will require us to install devices in every store where they keep their food, so that we can be able to monitor them to say that yes, what they are providing for people to consume is of high quality. And the moment, one thing about this device, what they use basically is they measure the alcoholic content of the food. They maintain that the food is producing. Okay? So the moment it's toxic, if the temperature is not okay, the temperature is not okay, the humidity of the food is not okay, then the next thing the device will do is shout an alarm, send an email that in this particular food, this particular material is spoiled and it's not good for the food. That's one of the ways I can help in what delivering a very good quality food. Documentation, reporting. Okay? So, a situation whereby you have a record and history of a particular marketplace where they behave in one manner or the other, then you need to access that record as a form of evidence against them or them. Then you probably need to go down to the office, pick up their file. Isn't that stressful? Of course it is. Why not have a cloud-based record system whereby every market, every sector, every hospital setting that you are monitoring or that you are in charge of, you keep a record of how they are doing their thing via the internet. And also, if you need to update it, you will do update it via the internet. Now, the question is, how about I need to measure, or let's say I need to check for past records that have been in place even before the internet, before the technology phase. How do I do that? It is time consuming and definitely very expensive, but it is possible. All you need to do is there will be an archive for the record. Bring up the archive, the documents, do scanning for them, put them in PDF format, and upload it to the cloud. So anywhere, anytime, you need to access that. You'll be able to access it anywhere you are. Okay, that's the picture of having a cloud-based. Someone, I think yesterday, there was day before yesterday, there was an incident of robbery and so a man was like, what he feared most is that they should come in and take his laptop. I looked at him and said, why? He said his life is on the laptop, his documents, so why are you afraid when you have a cloud? All you need to do is upload everything you have on the cloud. Sincerely, if my system go today, the only thing that we have that could be of concern is the price. I will still have to go and look for money to buy another laptop. So much. But the documents inside, everything is on the cloud already. So there is no need to panic. That's some of the beauty of internet and everything. Also, what if you need to work probably on an official computer? What you need an information on an official computer, but on calling a colleague of you that is in the office, the person is not able to recognize what file you are talking about, or is not able to get you the information that you need. The next thing that we do is to write that to them and then go back to the site, right? You don't need that. You can be here and access your official computer from here through your, if you have another laptop. Please. There are softwares whereby I can work on this laptop, this particular laptop. That's a laptop here. This is a laptop here. I need an information of that laptop. But this is the laptop I have. These apps that you see on the screen, I can use them and I'll be able to work on this laptop as if I'm working on that laptop. Every details on that laptop, I'll be able to access it from this laptop. So if there is any problem you want to be solved, then I can do it.
This and with production lines. It can also be used to perform your day-to-day chores. At number 4, we have smart irrigation. Now, with the changing climate and recurring water crisis, farmers suffer a great deal in growing crops. Smart irrigation puts an end to this ordeal. This system comes with a moisture sensor that checks the soil for its water content. When the soil moisture drops below a certain value, the system triggers the water supply. At number 5, we have smart door. Now, as the name suggests, this project aims at creating smart doors that control the entry and exit of buildings. These doors open and close automatically when you pass by. The door can also be controlled. You can unlock the door by tapping an icon on your smartphone. Once they exit, you're immediately notified. Owner also chooses who has the access to the door. At number 6, we have air monitoring system. Now, air monitoring has become crucial in the environment, and what better way to do it than incorporating IOT. The IOT system uses air sensors to sense the presence of harmful gases or compounds in the Data collected can be used by the local authorities to make a detailed analysis. Necessary actions can also be taken to ensure that the air quality levels don't reach an extreme low, especially in areas of hospitals and schools. Moving on to number 7, we have smart alarm clock. Now, there are many variations of smart alarm clock, but the alarm we are talking about is a self-setting alarm. This smart alarm clock uses your Google Calendar to check your appointments to set the alarm. You can also procure data from GPS about your ETA to a particular place and consider the weather to automatically adjust your wake time. All of this is just making life a little more easier. So when you're running out, the app will easily tell you what the weather is and suggest alternate weather or perhaps a sunrise. At number 9, we have smart beach. There are over 150 million beach users across the world. Smart beaches is an excellent innovation. Typically, it comes with built-in sensors on the seats that collect data every second. The data provides insight into the seat's behavior information and the energy required to maintain the posture. Other variations of smart features could include fall detection. These features allow this IoT-based streetlight monitoring system not only monitors but also ensures low power consumption and detects faulty lines. Streetlights have external sensing that automatically part of a smart city. The users can stay informed about any outages. They can also register a complaint for immediate service. So with that, we come to the end of the list. If you have any interesting projects, let us know in the comment section. So with that, we end this short video on IoT projects. Thank you so much for being here and watch out for more videos from us. Until then, keep learning and stay tuned to Simplilearn.
Alright, that's fine. As environmental officers, our concern is to ensure that we make the society eco-friendly and affordable. We make it livable. We will ensure that all factors that can hinder our environment remain safe.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Please, can we know you, your name?
I'm Jimos Aditoni.
Thank you very much, sir.
One of the participants from fellow to SCDA, Shaki East Local Government.
Thank you very much, sir. So far, so good. After the program today, can you express your satisfaction?
Yes, we really appreciate the present governor for counting us worthy to be part of the participant of this program, because in the state, the constant training of the officers will definitely enhance the performances and productivity of the officers at the local government level. We really appreciate the organizer too. They did fantastically well. And with the participants too, we enjoyed it because we've never had it good like this in the state. Having this type of government, not in doubt, it will increase the length of the knowledge. I mean the practicing knowledge on the field, apart from what we used to read. Because the world is now moving towards a pragmatic approach to environmental issues. Yeah. And we too, as an environmental officers, we need this type of training. At least it will help the officers to adopt a new approach method to facilitate our daily or routine services, to rendering services to people, because environmental health services is like a social services to people. And now that government is now realizing it as a social services, it is now the government should put more effort and funding to the issue of environmental services in the state. Because there are some psychologists who say the health of one man is the health of all. and the health of a nation will determine the healthful living of such people that are living in such an environment. It's good to tame our environment, because if our environment remains untamed, the issue of this emerging and reemerging of this pandemic, and like one we are having about related, the world is now ravaging with these pandemics now.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Once again, your name.
My name is Jimos.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
Please, can we know you? Your name?
I'm Sanitarian Popola Eso from Akorede LCDA.
Thank you very much, ma. After the program today, do you want to tell us that you are expecting something of this in the nearby future?
Yes, exactly. Training and retraining of environmental health officer is of paramount importance, because we are at the preventive aspect of medicine. We need to really tell the people, educate the people, create awareness to them that it is paramount to prevent better and even cheaper than what the curing aspect of the medicine. The training is of importance. We really commend the efforts of our Excellency, Engineer Sheyi Makinde, the Commission, and even the organizer of this program. They have done very well. In fact, in the program, the issue of ICT, which they are going to incorporate into the environmental health services, is very, very important. It will enable us to gather information, collect it, and pass it across to the relevant authority that will be help in decision making. It is of great importance to us because in this era of COVID-19, we know the issue of preventive methods of paramount, and it is very important. Issue of hand washing, we have to create awareness to them to use to make sure that they engage in using in washing their hands, they engage in using nose masks, they engage in sanitizing their hand before anything could be done at all, especially when they are going to eat. So, and also, in this era of cholera outbreak, we have had it in Kaduna. Even in this morning, we had it that is happening at Abuja. So it is very, very important for